Folks, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on your beautiful locations. This is Focus on Liberia on online television. My name is Gwendolyn Dorado, reporting from Liberia. Today we are at the headquarters of the National Elections Commission, where the results of the 2023 round of presidential election daily briefing is held. Today is the 15th day of November, and we are here as the commissioner is seated. The commissioner is already seated, and any minute from now, we get started. Wherever you are, I ask that you keep watching. While the commissioner and other commissioners are working in currently, we have Commissioner Ambai, Commissioner Gay, and Commissioner Councillor Howard also seated here. And moments from now, we'll be starting. And at our daily press briefing, we have many media institutions here to cover up the official results here of the November 14 round of the presidential election here. And we have international and local observers here present. Well, folks, I urge you to keep watching. Then you can also share the video. Follow us and share.
All of the commissioners who are absent, who will be absent.
the commissioner, Madam Dr. Brown Sana, said, along with her co-host and other commissioners here, they are seated at the table. And any moment from now, we will begin round-up election result held yesterday. That was the round-up. The unity party and that of the CDC. Any moment from now, begin.
Good afternoon. The National Elections Commission, Republic of Liberia, Madam Chairperson, Madam Co-Chairperson, and members of the Board of Commissioners, our local and international partners, local and international observer groups, here present, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, members of the Fourth Estate, we'd like to welcome you once again to this daily press briefing from the runoff presidential election 2023 in Liberia. The chairperson of the National Elections Commission is Madam Dr. Brown Langsana. Madam Chairperson, the audience.
Good afternoon, Madam Co-Chair and fellow commissioners, distinguished stakeholders, fellow Liberians, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you to the press briefing. The focus of today's briefing is to begin the announcement of progressive results of the 14 November 2023 presidential runoff election. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, having successfully conducted the presidential runoff election, the Commission informs you about on-the-spot vote counting, which was completed immediately following the polls of 14 November 2023. Retrieval of electoral materials used during the polls also began immediately following the counting of votes and is continuing. The Commission reports that during the vote counting and the retrieval of electoral materials, there were isolated cases of disturbances at some of the precincts, especially in Montserrat County. For example, at Sister Kathleen McGuire Catholic School precinct in Electoral District number 6, some citizens damaged one of the rented vehicles on grounds that it was not NEC vehicle and should not have taken electoral materials to voting centers. Similarly, in Electoral District number 12, at the Chicken Soup Factory AGM school, another hired vehicle was prevented from retrieving electoral materials for the same reason. Also in Electoral District number 2, at the MVTC precinct, an electoral supervisor was attacked and wounded. Thankfully, the LNP took the necessary actions to quell those incidents. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, the tally process was officially launched on 15 November 2023 at the Ellen Johnson Salute Ministerial Complex for Montserrat County and the 17 ministerial areas outside of Montserrat. Party agents as well as independent, local, regional, and international observers were at the official tally launched today. The Commission notes that the official tally results from the magisterial offices are already being progressively transmitted to the NEC Data Center at the headquarters for collation. The following are the tally results of the presidential runoff election from the magisterial offices across the country to date. I will now read consolidated national presidential progressive tally reports to be followed by those reports from the counties. Of the total of 1,315 polling places, of a total of 5,890 polling places, constituting 22.33%. Worker Joseph N., UP, votes obtained 193,041, constituting 50.71%. We are George Manning, CDC, votes obtained 187,615, constituting 49.29%. Total valid votes 380,656, constituting 100%. Total invalid votes 5,420. Total votes 386,076. Those were the results from the National Presidential Progressive Tally Report Consolidated. I will now invite Commissioner Floyd Sear to begin to read results from the counties.
Presidential Report, Consolidated Progressive. Babylon County. 42 polling places of the total of 134 polling places, constituting 31.34%. Worker Joseph N. UP was obtained 5,610, constituting 55.45%. We are George Manning, CDC, was obtained 4,507, constituting 44.55%. Total valid votes 10,117, constituting 100%. Total invalid votes 224. Total votes 10,341. Mozzarella County. 557 polling places out of 2,008 polling places, constituting 27.7%. Worker Joseph N. UP was obtained 96,789, constituting 53%. We are George Manning, CDC, was obtained 85,821, constituting 47%. Total valid votes 182,610, constituting 100%. Total invalid votes 1,914. Total votes 184,524. Lofa County. 68 polling places out of 424 polling places reporting, constituting 16.03%. Worker Joseph N. UP was obtained 12,835, constituting 67.56%. We are George Manning, CDC, was obtained 6,162, constituting 32.44%. Total valid votes 18,997, constituting 100%. Total invalid votes 342. Total votes 19,339.
Thank you, Commissioner Sear. I now invite Commissioner Basigil Kwama to continue the reading from the counties.
Progressive tally report, consolidated president and vice president county, Maryland County. 43 polling places of a total of 175 polling places, 24.57%. Worker Joseph NUP, vote obtained 2,630, constituting 21.73%. We are George Manan CDC, vote obtained 9,475, 9,475, 78.27%. Valid vote cast 12,105, 12,105, constituting 100%. Invalid vote 245, total votes 12350, 12,350. River G County, 29 polling places of a total of 98 polling places, 29.59%. Worker Joseph NUP, vote obtained 2094, 26.62%. We are George Manan CDC, vote obtained 5772, 5,772, 73.38%. Valid vote 7866, 7,866, constituting 100%. Invalid vote 136, 136. Total votes 8002, 8002. Grand Judah County, 65 polling places of a total of 163 polling places, 39.88%. Worker Joseph NUP, vote obtained 1920, 1,920, 10.91%. We are George Manan CDC, vote obtained 156,681, 15,681, 89.09%. Valid votes 17601, 17,601, 100%. Invalid vote is 329,329. Total vote 17930, 17,930.
Thank you, Commissioner. I now invite Commissioner Awa to continue with the reading of the presidential result from the counties.
Good afternoon. Progressive tally report consolidated for the President and Vice President, Wednesday, November 15, 2023. I will begin with one county. Of the total of 102 polling places, of the total of 555 polling places, constituting 18.38%. Candidates: Worker Joseph N. UP, votes obtained 12,204, constituting the valid votes of 45.90%. We are George Manan, CDC, votes obtained 14,383, constituting the valid votes of 54.10%. Total valid votes 26,587. Total invalid votes 516. Total votes 27,103. We proceed to Nema County. Of the total of 127 polling places, constituting the total of 736 polling places, which constitute 17.26%. Candidates: Worker Joseph N. UP, votes obtained 25,360, constituting a valid vote of 74.82%. We are George Manning, CDC. Votes obtained 8,536, constituting a valid vote of 25.18%. Total valid votes 33,896. Total invalid votes 576. Total votes 34,472. Madam Chair, I duly submit.
Thank you, Commissioner Awa. I now invite Commissioner Gay to continue with the reading of presidential results from the counties.
Progressive Tally Report, Consolidated, President and Vice President. County Grand Bassa. 14 polling places of total 405 polling places. Percent 3.70. Candidates. Waka Joseph N. UP. Votes obtained 784%. Of valid votes 40.08. We are George Manning, CDC. Votes obtained 1,172%. Of valid votes 59.92. Total valid votes 1,956%. Of valid votes 100%. Total invalid votes 79. Total votes 2,035. Proceed to Mankiwi County. 82 polling places of total 441 polling places. Percent 18.59. Candidates. Waka Joseph N. UP. Votes obtained 13,600. Percent of valid votes 57.39. We are George Manning, CDC. Votes obtained 10,099%. Of valid votes 42.61. Total valid votes 23,699%. Of valid votes 100. Total invalid votes 354. Total valid votes 24,053. Madam Chair, that ends the meeting of Grand Bassa and Mankiwi County.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Gay. I now invite the co-chair, P.T. Reeves, to continue to read the results of the presidency from the counties.
Progressive Tally Report, Consolidated, President and Vice President. County, Bonny. 50 polling places of the total of 171 polling places, constituting 29.24%. Candidates. Waka Joseph N. UP. Vote obtained 8,071%. Of valid vote 62.91%. We are George Manning, CDC. Vote obtained 4,759%. Of valid vote 3709. Total valid vote 12,830. Total invalid votes 127. Total votes 12,957, constituting 100%. County, Hipman, 41 polling places of the total 213 polling places, constituting 19.25%. Candidates. Waka Joseph N. UP. Vote obtained 6,447, constituting 56.58%. We are George Manning, CDC. Vote obtained 4,948, constituting 43.42%. Total valid vote, 11,395, constituting 100%. Total invalid vote, 163. Total vote, 11,558. Madam Chair.
Thank you, Co-Chair. I now invite Commissioner Boyga Dugle to continue to read the presidential results from the counties.
Progressive tally report. I apologize for my voice. I think I suffer from laryngitis. Progressive tally report consolidated. Riverside County. 41 polling places out of a total of 105, constituting 39.05%. Boakai Joseph N. UP. Votes obtained 2,755, constituting 30.26%. We are George Money, CDC. Votes obtained 6,349, constituting 69.74%. Total valid votes 9,104, constituting 100%. Total invalid votes 199. Total votes 9,303. That was for Riverside. Now we go to Sinai County. 53 polling places out of a total of 152, constituting 34.87%. Boakai Joseph N. UP. 1,942, constituting 16.33%. We are George Manion, CDC. Votes obtained 9,951, constituting 83.67%. Total valid votes 11,893, constituting 100%. Total invalid votes 216. Total votes 12,109. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Dugle. Thank you to the commissioners. I'm sure you have not heard us reading from
Grand Crew County. And that's because the tally process began at 2:30 today. So starting tomorrow, we will read the results from Grand Crew County. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Chairperson and members of the Board of Commissioners. So what we will do, we'll just have a Q&A and you just walk up and ask your question, please.
Those were the readings of the tally reports from each county.
Thank you, Commissioner.
The runoff election
Well, I'm concerned about
by
the
the commissioner
Montserrat County Tallying Center.
other commissioners.
As you may be aware, that
Now
facility
it's time for question and answer.
is a combination of the Ministry of Labor and the Ministry of Transport. The Ministry of Labor and Gender. So, looking at the level of security for the facility, since in fact you were at the SKD and that area was later invaded by some folks that you did mention during the October 10th. So how now is the process with the Ellen Johnson Civic Ministerial Complex, hosting all the ministry, and you did with your talents too? There's this. Okay. There's this issue that we actually observe on today unlike yesterday, two schools I visited, the four maiden Christian Academy on the old road, Smart Road specifically, and the King Grace School. They both are in fence. And then when we went there today to observe the results that were placed on the wall, we noticed that the fence were actually locked. So I don't know what's the arrangement between the National Elections Commission and those who owns the facility to allow people to actually review what was actually placed on the wall.
May I answer your question by saying that these facilities are not owned by the Elections Commission. Some of them are private as well as some of them are government structures. And the National Elections Commission abides by some of their regulations. We were allowed to use the premises on elections day, which was the 14th of November. Today is the 15th. The owners of those properties have, gone back to using them the way that they have been. We have no control over this. The issue about moving from the SKD to the PJS Ministerial Complex, we do not own any of these facilities. These are public structures. We make arrangements with the management team to use them, and we pay to use them. For the SKD, you have international matches. We have to move out of there. So we made the arrangement with the Ministerial Complex Management to use one of their halls to host the Montserrat County tallying process. The security is intact at that location. If anybody thinks that they can bulldoze and just go in there, it's going to be difficult for me. I was there today, and I saw the formation there. At the same time, no staff is working, other than perhaps those who clean. We are in there for about 3 days maximum. After that, staff will resume working. We have to give up something. It's like the opportunity cost, they call it, in order to get something. And what we're getting is the tallying process from Montserrat County, so that we get those results. We'll read them to you. Next question.
Thank you, Commissioner. My name is Anthony Williams. I work for State Radio. Prior to these elections, there were several declarations and commitments that these political parties signed up to, and helping to prevent them from venturing into acts that will serve as recipient players. We all have seen just yesterday after the elections, there were partisans of the ruling establishment in the streets jubilating, claiming victory. Just today, we witnessed something as such with key political figure from the opposition bloc leading Liberians in the streets and claiming victory. I want to know the Commission's stance on actions like this.
Firstly, let me say that if you are willing to signing of the Provisional River Declaration, this declaration is by commitment. In other words, political parties working with the NEG and different communities decided that it was appropriate to get the signatures to commit to a peaceful environment. We have seen some violations here and there across the country. We have condemned violence across the country. We have condemned the acts committed by some persons who probably may be partisans or are sympathetic towards these different parties that signed the Provisional River Declaration. Commitment. Now, if this commitment is breached, I'm sorry, we are doing the best we can, and it's not just us. It's the Liberian people who are trying their best to hold the political parties to continue to stand up against any form of violence or agitation that tend to put us backwards, in terms of where we're coming from a destabilized country for so many years. Everyone is looking for peace. And we all must do something to maintain that peace, including you, the media, especially in your reporting. When people get in the streets because they think they have won, many things happen. We don't have control over people getting in the street and causing things to happen that should not be. The best we can do and have done is to tell them that we should wait for the Elections Commission to announce the final results. You cannot just jump in the street and start saying to everybody that you have won. We just read few of the results. Did they show that anyone here has won anything? I'm asking you.
No, they didn't.
Okay. So why should anyone be running in the streets? So all of us need to hold them accountable. Especially if they're running in the street, end up to violating other people's space, then of course they should be held liable for their actions.
Fellow Madam Commissioner and your Board of Commissioners, my name is Louis Masukoya and I do report for Big FM and Liberia Public Radio. Man, issue have to do with maybe probably the same issue of political race and will be coming from different directions. What is the Commission doing in terms of security measures to protect the votes of Liberians? In consideration, taking into consideration a lot of political institutions, declaring themselves of winning the elections. They have make sure that listen to the first election. We saw the issue of the CDC and UP. Thank you.
I don't know how to link. I don't know how to link what you said. Security, protection of the votes, and people running in the streets claiming that they have won. The votes have already been protected. We have conducted a process of integrity and credibility. We are at the point now of tallying, collation, and announcement of these very results. So my friend, I find it difficult, I don't know how to answer that question, to link people running the streets and the security of the votes, because the votes have already been secured. And let me say this, and I don't mean any harm. When you ask your question, I want to see your face. I'm sorry. I want to speak to you. When you ask me a question and you go behind the scene and doing something else, it throws me off. I'm sorry. Forgive me, but I just have to say it. So maybe we need some ground rules. When you ask me a question, stay to the point and let me address it, and let us address it as much as possible. We agree on this, right? Next question, please.
Thank you, Madam Commissioner. I'm Nelson Koye, and I report for the Spoon Network. I have two concerns. The first one has to do with an observation we had yesterday, visiting some of the centers. Majority of the pool washers or observers we spoke with, they raised this issue of the FRR that was given to them not being used at a particular point. According to them, from the morning hours up to about 2 p.m., there was a text message that circulated mandating that they should not use that FRR again. So they were basically...
Sorry. When you say they, you're not talking about anybody else. You should please tell us who.
Okay. So initially, I started by saying the observers, political parties observers, they were the ones who raised that concern. And at some polling centers, it sparked tension. After some time, the tension was calmed. Is there any reason, legitimate reason why that message circulated? Because we understand that it came from the National Elections Commission. That's my first concern.
Let me answer you.
Okay.
Firstly, the National Elections Commission is by law to provide a copy of the FRR to political parties so they can see the numbers of registered Liberians who will be going to the polls. And correct me, there is nowhere in our law it says that political parties will print the FRR and they will take it to the polling place and use the FRR to identify voters before they are identified by the legitimate staff that are supposed to be running that process. Well,
just a follow-up to that. In the spirit of transparency and the credibility of the entire process, don't you think it was prudent enough to have those people also verifying just as there was another copy before the networkers?
That is not in the law. I'm sorry.
Okay, so my second question.
No, let me say something. It is not in the law for political parties to conduct the process, the voting process of the National Elections Commission. This is why the government, through budgetary appropriation, provided funding to pay electoral workers. And I would say those parties and the agents have crossed the line. They have crossed the line. We have done everything we can to be transparent in the process. But they are not going to usurp the functions of the National Elections Commission. Those functions are mandated by law for the Elections Commission to do that. Not, and hold on please, I need to say this. I personally observed party agents taking possession of voters' card and checking it in the FRR and marking things on pieces of paper. And it's not their job. It's not the work they are supposed to be doing. Taking voters' card from them. I'm asking you, my friend. It's not the job of party agents.
Okay, so if I'm to respond to that, if those party agents are not given the opportunity, if they don't have the opportunity to compare what they have without what the National Elections Commission workers have, then what then was the essence?
It's in the polling place, the place that you're going to do comparison, when it's not your job, my friend. It's not your job. In the polling place, there is no comparison. Please, please. In the polling place, there is no comparison being done by people who are unauthorized or authorized people between them and the authorized people. When you come with your voter's card, the law says, and the procedures say, hello, and the procedures say that you go to the next staff, you produce your card, you look at your data on your card, into the FRR and find you. When you are found, they give you the ballot, you go behind it. There is nowhere in the law that says party agents should do that kind of job. No. And this will not happen. This will not happen. And I'm stressing it because we receive information that some persons, including some media people, were promoting that why was the NEC stopping the party agents from using the copies that they have of the FRR from being verified and the voters not being verified by party agents. Excuse me, is that your job? That is not their job. The job of the Elections Commission will be done by the Elections Commission. This will be corrected.
Okay, so let me move to my final concern. But before going, if that's not the job of the party agent, and they were doing it, did the verification take anything from the National Elections Commission? Did they undermine the process?
They took things from the National Elections Commission. You know why? because it destabilizes the process to them. You, a party agent, you come and tell a voter, come give me your card, and let me check you on my FRR. Then you marking things. You know what that does? You are putting that voter at risk. Gone are the days where we stand up and you are being counted by your head, you stand behind somebody. That were voting those days, hundreds of years ago. Because of the secrecy of the ballot and the protection of the voter, the crafters of this process decided that you go behind the screen, you're not going to tell anybody who.
Thank you, Madam Commissioner. Let me move to my next concern. I must say that my answer was not convincing enough, but let me move to my next concern. There was a text message that circulated from the National Elections Commission. There was a message that circulated, and I just want to read it shortly. It says, the same results that you saw at the polling places is the same result that will be tallied and announced by the NEC. Considering that radio stations...
Did you say it's the NEC that issued that?
Yeah.
Yes. It has. Now I can check it. Okay. I need to respond to something that I know about.
Okay. So, considering that radio stations are visiting the different polling places and using the same results to announce official results, can you assure the public, is there any reason for the public to equally trust what's coming from those radio stations, given that they're using the very tallied results that you're talking about in this text message?
The National Elections Commission assures the Liberian public, all the observers and the stakeholders, that when we sit up here and we announce results, they are official, and that's the assurance we give.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My name is Carmen Lomo. I work for the News Publishers Media. I have these two concerns here. One had to do with the issue of this invalid votes. It still appear again. Was there any civic and voter education done during this run-up process? If yes, how many days? If no, why? And I have the other concern from LOFA. Was there any internal investigation done about that color issue that were being alleged of carrying voter paper in the ballot box? Was there any investigation? If yes, what were the findings into that investigation? Thank you.
I will begin by answering. I'm sorry. I'm from the post. No, I will talk. But I will talk. I'm from the post school. My father told me, please be to his ashes, that when someone is addressing you, you make eye contact with that person. I don't know it any other way. So when I'm talking to somebody or somebody's talking to me, I'm not going to be giving them my back or my side. I want to look in that person's face and in their eyes. Besides, it is, and I don't need to be, any other way. It's respectful when someone talks to you and you are talking to them by your whole body language, looking straight at you. So don't feel bad, young man. Yes, I know in time some of us will pick it up. You talk about whether there was an internal investigation of helicopter appearing in the Lufa, and then what happened? They had leg back. And you saw it yourself. Oh, it's alleged. So it's an allegation. It's an allegation. But let me say to you that the National Elections Commission has never used helicopter to convey its electoral materials 10th October and the 14th October. we've been using hired boats by way of the ocean and hired vehicles, including trucks, to carry our material to different locations where our magistrate's offices are. So that other one then, not working. The issue about invalid votes, and you question whether in fact whether CVE was done. We explained yesterday that, and even previously, we conducted CVE all throughout the 73 districts of the Republic of Liberia. CVE on all of these different rights issues and awareness raising about the process. You want to know how many days? For about 3 months or so. But let me tell you, my dear, civic and voter education, and I will continue to say it, it's not something that you just get up and do. But when we do, we pay for it. And so the money that we have is the money that we use to pay for CVE. So if CVE was done for just 3 months, or even less than that, and the one we gave up, based on the allotment that we gave us. So perhaps next time, when we ask for millions of dollars, press, including yourself, will advocate for the Elections Commission to have enough funding to be able to carry on these things. Secondly, we need to integrate electoral matters into the curriculum in school, including CVE and awareness raising. We need to do that. Perhaps the president is helping now to advocate for it so that it gets integrated in the curriculum. This is a sustainable way to help Liberians to be aware of the electoral process. Invalid votes is something that you and myself, all of us here, we need to address. You know why? Because we continuously are explaining some of the issues based on the past survey that was done, where first thing you have the issue of literacy, illiteracy, if you want to put it that way, and even attitudes. Even if you teach somebody or you show them, sometimes the attitude that you take to the ballot box is not comparable to that of what you have taught them, even through the CVE. So we need to work on ourselves too. We need to work on ourselves too, right? Okay. Next question.
Thank you, Madam Commissioner. My name is Archie Bourne, and I report for Today Liberia Television. I have like 4 concerns. My first concern has to do with
some of your friends want to talk. So just talk through. And if you think somebody else is talking and they want to talk.
Yes, these are all important things, so I just want to make
everything is important, including you.
Thank you. My first concern has to do with how long will the NC take to conclude all of the tally results as we have the 2 candidates in the election. The second one has to do with yesterday there were some journalists that was marketed by the Liberia National Security due to their reporting duties. The National Election Commission getting any concern about this issue?
Okay, let me answer you. You asked the 2 questions. Give the other 2 to somebody else.
The last one.
That means I will be 3 now.
Yeah.
No, only 2. I'm the presiding officer. When you talk about journalism being now handled, we do not have that information. But what I can say to you, it will be important if you know who not handle the journalists to work with them. I will not say John Brown did or this institution did because I don't have it before me. We don't have this information before us. What I do know is that the police or the joint security has been working tirelessly to secure or to ensure law and order. Order and enforcement. And then 2, it's a good thing to identify yourself and listen to those who are managing the process as to what you can do and what you cannot or should not do. And sometimes this is where we fall short. Sometimes there are rules and regulations, and when we come, we decide it must be done our way. And I'm not suggesting that this is what happened. I'm just trying to explain to you, media people, you take responsibility for some things. And work with those who think handle your friends to get them to the table, we'll talk about it, and find some resolution there. You say how long is it going to take for us to announce the final results? We say again, the National Elections Commission by law has 15 days. Whether you have senatorial representative and a presidential, or whether you just have only 2 contestants in just elect 14 November presidential. We have 15 days. What I'm saying to you, we are working around the clock to make sure that one, not only do we remain within the 15 days, but as much as possible to reduce the time for the final result. So in the next few days, this time we've gone 22.33%. You never tell tomorrow, perhaps we might reach 50%. So let's do it that way. Next question, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My name is Gerald, coordinator director for Fourth Page Africa. On the record of the count, unlike past elections, the name of the counties were not mentioned, only Liberia. Why is it in the runoff? And secondly, in most places, especially the peaceville belt, after the votes were being tallied and ballot boxes sealed, the NEC didn't pick up these boxes. It was very late, causing smoking, also leading to some of your temporary staff and your observers to leaving the boxes alone with the POs. How safe are these boxes with the PO thought through and not given that during the first round, small belt workers were accused of electoral malpractice for which they are facing prosecution now?
So let me ask you, the POs that you talked about sleeping with the ballot boxes, were they accused of anything? Or did you see any malpractice?
That's my question. How safe are these boxes with them, given that some of them were accused during the first round?
When you say that, you probably seem to me and the rest of us that those ballot boxes were secure, and it's possible that something happened there. I would say no. They were secure. And the issue here is that logistics were deployed to retrieve the materials. If they didn't get there in time, it's unfortunate, but we do everything we can to make sure that our electoral materials reach the magistrate's office and onto the headquarters. The most important thing in all of that is the tamper evidence envelope, which has been, which left. As soon as the counting finished, the tamper evidence envelope that contains the original copy of the record of the count on its way. So if the T's were there that you probably saw, then maybe you really have concern, and I would really be concerned. But once that T is sealed with the original copy of the record of the count, it's gone. It's not left there for somebody to play with.
Yeah, my other question. So the first one that has to do with on the record of the counts, the name of the counties wasn't mentioned. The counts that bear the name of the counties. Why?
I do not have it in front of me. Any of my colleagues can speak to that. Please go ahead.
Usually for the presidency is the entire country, so it's difficult to have counties on the record of count. For the representative, it's easier because it's by district, so you can easily identify it. So a holistic, it's difficult to say what your estimates are per county as per the number of record account that should be assigned. So that's the reason why you have to write it in the box. And if you look at the first round for the presidency, you also see the same thing. So it's not changed. It's the same. In all other elections, it's the same. Not changed.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. We take the last 3 questions and we call it a day.
So what we'll do, just ask one question.
Questions are different from the ones that are
Just ask one question.
My name is Moses Gazi from the BBC. I wanted to make a follow-up before I can ask my question.
Ask one question.
Yeah, it's a follow-up.
Your follow-up will be the question that you asked.
It has to do with the direct FRR. So I want to know, Commissioner, maybe some of your fellow commissioners can be able to respond to them in the near arises. I'm building on to yesterday's question I asked. What are the intent for the political parties to have a FRR? And what are the responsibilities of the pool watchers from these political parties and observers? Maybe you could reiterate their roles and responsibilities, because you said there is nothing that is law that gave them the right to conduct the affairs of the elections like it's done. And my final question I want to ask. Probably because, yeah, the question I have to ask is, prior to you conducting elections yesterday, the night before the elections day, there were tensions about employment. I know in District 8, there were tensions that a private vehicle was conveying elections materials that your political affairs officer had to go to rescue because citizens won't pay wire. Did you make informed publication to the public that the NEC does not have its own vehicles? In fact, we are using rented vehicles to convey and collect voting materials.
Okay, I think the first 2 questions probably want to answer. Your last question. I don't know how to answer it. Yeah, probably maybe I need to say yes. But you know, the NEC cannot procure 300 vehicles to use on elections day. And then after elections day, these 300 vehicles remain in the commission. Maybe some of them. It will be a waste of money, I'm sorry to say. The commission from time immemorial hires vehicles, put stickers on them, put staff in them for deployment and retrieval. I was shocked to know that persons who were above 18 and probably had voted in a previous election claim not to know that the Elections Commission hires vehicles, vendors, to convey our materials to various polling places. The good thing was our staff was there to help to enlighten some of those who raised contention and issue citizens arrest on the vehicle. The police was on time, and after some time of agitation, it was solved. So, I don't remember your other question.
The
FRR is also give the FRR, which we put on pen drive to the. Okay. Yes, you explain. If there's no law, then there's something there in the practice. There's something there that tells us to provide that information. So if I'm not saying it right, go ahead, please.
Okay. In 2017, there was an issue about irregularities with regards to the FRR. And it is the reason why today we have. You can hear me? Based on the fact that the issue of the FFR came about again in 2017, and it was an issue that was raised by political parties, and it went before Chief Justice, before bench of the Supreme Court. So in the spirit of due diligence to ensure that people are acquainted with that which has been clear, where deduplication takes place, where you ensure that it is free of any kind of irregularity, you gave it to the parties. So at that time, it is given prior to, and there are issues that you have to raise before them, but not going into the election process itself in terms of usurpation of the function of the net. It is given to you as a party to look at it and see that if anything is irregular, you can raise it before time, not at the time where you are proceeding with the actual process.
Okay, thank you. There's more information and better information than the one that I just gave you from the commissioner who actually works on this thing. So Commissioner Basilio Pama will say something, and Commissioner Duque will put it in a proper perspective. So I take back what I told you.
So thank you for the question. Let me say to you, the issue of giving political party final registration was a practice that we introduced in our procedure. Our law was going to publish the final registration rule to the polling center 24 hours before election day. So when we gave you the final registration rule, we expect you to go and compare that final registration rule with what we have already pasted up, and you will know whether people who are to vote in that polling place is the same number of persons that you have on your final registration that you have printed in your house. So that's the transparency and the credibility aspect of that whole final registration rule. But it's not for you to use it and say, when somebody comes and say, bring the card and check it on my card. Once you compare the one we gave you with the one that is pasted on the wall, the consistency and the credibility aspect of it today. So that's what we gave the final registration rule. But it's a practice that we decided to do. Because we want you to know that if we say there are 510 persons in the polling place, what you have as a final registration rule for that polling place is 510, and it's the same one that we have pasted on the wall. Thank you.
Commissioner, do you want to say something? So I'm a secretary. I need to back to school on this.
Again, my voice, please excuse me. You know, in the elections law, there is actually a place in the elections law that requires MEC to post the election, the FRR. And you know where that is? At the magisterial area for public view. This is the place where we are told to publish the FRR. There isn't any other place in the law that you can say, not even the Supreme Court opinion in the information filed in the Bill of Information. So according to me talking about why did we put it at the ministerial office, because that's the only place that the law says we should put it for public view. However, in 2017, as it was explained, we said, well, it would be better because there are a lot of concern about the FRR. So we said, well, let people see it. Because it was our attempt to just help and tell people that this is what we have. Then the Supreme Court said, well, look, put it on the wall at every center. When you have it, you can go and check it and see if we have the same needs, the same number. But I know lawyers have told you the same. No, there's in the law.
Thank you very much, Commissioners, for stepping in to provide clarity to the question. So we take the last one, please.
Honorable Commissioners and the head of the Commission, my name is Emmanuel Kabichetu. I report for Kuru 91.9. My concern has to do with the temporary workers that were being hired by NEC, and I will inform us that $5 United States was given to temporary workers for feeding. But what we also established in our investigation is that the head of those individuals was scotching over the money in our civil library, were giving them $500 librarian, and they instructed them to sign for $925 librarian. Is that in the know of the commissioners? It's my concern.
If that information that you are giving us is not the instruction, the information you provide now is not the instruction. The instruction there was it still remains that temporary staff on elections day are giving meal, and that ticket is $5, some 950 Liberian dollars, which of course can buy two meals. If you look at it, 50 to 50. Yes. But I would say to you, if this is happening, I am one of the temporary staff. But if this is happening, then perhaps those who bear in road, we need to encourage them to bring it to the concern of the institution and not to accept it, sign if this is actually true. And then they ask you to come talk on their behalf. You understand what I'm saying? We need to encourage them who bear the brunt of the problem, if there is a problem, to come forward. There's a team coordination session here. The magistrates are there, and you have us here. So if that is an issue, then temporary staff need to come forward and say who is doing this to them. All right, thanks for the information. Thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow at 4:30.
Thank you very much.
Focus on Liberia. Today is the 15th of November. The first briefing has been done. The first briefing has been done today at the commission. We are done now. Folks,
please make way in the aisle for the members of the Board of Commissioners to leave. Please, can we make way, please?
International
please.
So today is the first day of the briefing of the results of the presidential runoff elections that were held yesterday in Liberia by the commissioner and co-host of the commissions. Well, you can see those who gave at least application of international observers and local observers. And everyone is leaving now. Tomorrow we are here for another petition for the election results. Well, folks, my name is Queen of Liberia. I say thanks for watching. This is Focus on Liberia.
So we're going to
Thank you.